So, hi everyone. Today we have a special guest on our channel. We have Devesh with us. So, Devesh, would you like to introduce yourself once?
Yeah, sure. So, hi Ashish, thank you for inviting me. Hi everyone. I am Devish. I currently work as a software engineer at Google. I have graduated from Kalyani Government Engineering College in West Bengal, and yeah, nowadays I stay in Bangalore.
All right, amazing. So, as you guys can see, he's currently working at Google. So, he came from a tier 3 college, worked in a variety of companies, and eventually landed at the dream company of everyone, that is Google. So, in this video, we'll be talking about the entire journey of how he went from a tier 3 college, what all he learned, how did he do job hunting, and how did he crack this job at Google. So, we're going to learn everything about it. So, make sure that you strap in and watch for the entire podcast. So, Devesh, can you start us off with the interview experience at Google? Like, what all happened in your interview experience? What all things were you asked, and how did it go?
Yeah, sure. The recruiter from Google reached out to me earlier this year. I think it was around February. So yeah, that he had emailed me. So we connected on a call. It was a telephonic discussion kind of thing. So that was means so for companies like Google, before scheduling the interview, they means try to the recruiters try to talk to the candidate about his past experience and all to see whether they are fit for the interview. So yeah, like that is how the recruiter reached out to me. So it was a small call. We connected, I think, for 10-15 minutes, and then he finalized that yeah, I will be giving the interview. So like for Google, what happens is that after this finalization that the candidate is fit for the interview, they give him or her some time to study, like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever the time candidate asks. So I had asked for 2 weeks time to prepare and all. So yeah, after that, it was the around end of February when my first round of interviews happened. So in Google, like they take 5 rounds of interview. Out of the 5 rounds, first round is the elimination round, and then there are 4 rounds which are like one after the other, means they are not elimination. So like in the last 4 rounds we get a combined feedback. Okay.
Cracking a company like Google is not an easy thing to do, yet, this is something that everyone dreams of. To crack a company like Google or a FANG company, you need to master many things. You need to master DSN problem solving, you need to master system design, you need to master CS fundamentals development, and you need to master all of these things if you want to crack the interviews of the top companies. And people keep asking me, what are the resources we can use to learn and master these things? What are the websites we can use, for learning this? And I always recommend Educative. So Educative is a single source of learning platform in which you get content on everything. They have content on DSA and problem solving, how to clear the coding interviews. They have the world's best content on system design, on learning system design completely. They have content on CS fundamentals development, and you're getting all of this under one subscription. And top of that, you have AI based mock interviews. So it'll be like giving a real world interview with AI, where the AI will take your interview and give you feedback so you do not fumble in the real interviews out there. So you're getting all of this AI mock interviews, all of these learning, and you're getting them under one subscription. And the best part is that you're getting more than 70% off on that subscription right now. So this is a great opportunity for all of you people who want to do your placement prep to crack your dream company in off-campus setting. I've given a link in the description box. You can check Educative out, see it for yourself. And now let's get back to the video.
So the first elimination round what happened in February. So in that round, I think there were three questions. I think means first an easy question, then a medium follow up, then a hard follow up. So something like that was there in the first round. Then I think for me, after first round, like I had around 2 weeks of gap. So it depends. Like sometimes the interviews can be quick. Sometimes it takes time. So yeah, after first round, I had 2 weeks of gap. Then I think in 2 weeks only my all the 4 rounds were scheduled one after the other. So yeah, it was good. And so yeah, let me talk about bit about the other rounds as well. So yeah, so the rounds are like 4 rounds means out of the 5 rounds, 4 rounds are technical and one round is like the googliness round in which they won't ask the technical questions, like they will ask the behavioral questions and about the past project and how a candidate is fit for the role. So it's like that kind of a round, and that usually happens like at the last round or the second last round. So yeah, this was the format. And in other rounds also, like mostly a DSA question was given. Uh, Depends. Like some rounds they had follow-ups. Some rounds they had two questions as well. And one round and in one round it was like really interesting. So the recruiter had given me a question in the interview, and I had solved the question quite quick, like I think in 15 minutes. And then for the same question only, he asked me to solve with a different implementation. And yeah, I was like, wow, this is something new. So that was one of the rounds. So yeah, that was the overall experience for the interview.
Amazing, man, amazing. So, a couple of things I want to ask about. First is the type of problems that you get. Of course, most of it would be DSA, right? Because Google is known for asking
Yeah.
DSA. So, let's talk about the type of problems you got. Like, let's relate it to lead code. Were it like medium or were it like proper lead code hard? What would you deem the difficulty if you compare it to lead code problems?
Yeah. So like the problems were medium and hard only. Like I guess in 2 rounds I can say it was hard, and in 2 rounds it was medium. So yeah, that is the expectation. Like medium hard.
Got it, got it. And the other thing I want to know is, did you feel like those were sort of unseen problems, or did you feel that those were a variation of problems that you have solved before? Like, how did you relate to that?
Yeah, yeah. So like with all the problems were unseen. Like I have not thought that someone can come up with this kind of content. So yeah, like all the problems were unseen.
Yeah, yeah. I think for majority of the good companies, the top FANG level companies, you'll be seeing unseen problems only, right? Which is why it's important that you have
Yeah.
to be good at DSA. So let's get into that
Yes.
itself, right? Of course, cracking a company like Google needs a lot of DSA. Cracking a FANG company needs a lot of DSA. And coming from a tier 3 college, of course, you have to go for it off campus, which is more difficult compared to on campus, right? So how did you prepare DSA? What was your DSA journey like?
Yeah. So like for me, the DSA journey started in the college. Like when I joined college, after the means during the middle of my college, it was COVID time, and in COVID time, like we all were in our home. So like that was the time when I started properly focusing on DSA, because like the college was also mostly shut and we had a lot of free time. So yeah, that was the time means I started into DSA. Initially I was like solving the means I started solving the competitive programming challenges on CodeChef and Code Forces. So in those days, like those challenges were quite popular. Like recently, I have seen there is little bit decline the popularity, but yeah, in those days, like it was quite popular. There were a lot of participants. In fact, in our college, only like my friends used to participate. We used to participate. We used to compete among ourselves. So yeah, like that is how I started it. So yeah, I mean initial and in the initial days, like I was not at that good in solving problems. Like I used to solve only two problems out of the 6 or 7 problems in the contest. But slowly I started learning. I started means reading about different kinds of problems. Then after the contest, I used to see editorials. I used to see the solution of other people. So yeah, this is how I started learning, and I became like little bit better in this.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that you said that I really like is having friends along with you. If you have friends along with you practicing, giving contests together, having that rivalry sort of a thing, that really makes it more interesting, right? Otherwise, DSA can become boring pretty quick. So that's how you got started in DSA. Let's talk about how you improved in DSA, right? Because DSA is like a huge steep that you have to climb. It's pretty steep wall that you have to climb up into, and a lot of people start the same way that you did. They're not able to solve problems, but of course after that, like people like you are able to eventually reach the top where you're able to solve the medium problems, hard problems. So I want to know, how did you bridge that gap, coming from a place where you're only able to solve easy problem, and then going all the way that you're able to solve harder problems or unseen problems in a contest. How did you bridge that gap basically?
Yeah, sure. So, like, I realized one thing, that the easy and the straightforward problems like greedy and brute force I was able to solve, but like for problems where a specific type of algorithm is needed, like graph or trees or dynamic programming or something like that, like I was not able to solve. So I started practicing those problems topic wise. Like, means I on one particular day I will study about graphs and I will solve few problems on graphs. Then someday I will study about trees and solve few problems. So I started like in the initial days, I started solving topic wise, and then like when I gained some confidence that yeah, I could solve this problem separately, then I started like pick solving the higher rated problem. So like in all the platforms, if you can see that if you like someone goes for practicing, they can see that the problems are rated on basis of difficulty level. So I started picking the medium and the harder difficulty level problems. So like the thing is, when you pick a random medium or hard difficulty level problem, you don't know that which algorithm or which topic you have to use. So that is how like there are many problems which we solved in that way. So like the more I solved, the more I was able to understand only after reading the statement only, that yeah, this problem will be solved by this technique and that technique. So yeah, yeah, lot of practice and lot of reading is needed definitely to solve and
Mm-hmm.
process.
And a point I would like to interject here is that a lot of you guys may not be doing CP, a lot of you guys may be doing lead code, and you may see that lead code only has easy, medium, hard. So you can use a website Zero Track. A lot of people don't know about this. So Zero Track IO is a free website which will categorize leak code problems rating wise. So you'll have 1500, 1600, 1700, 1800, 1900, and you can basically filter the problem according to ratings. And whatever your rating is, you can go 100 above, 200 above, and basically go on tougher problems, right? The more tougher problems you solve, the more comfortable you will be. So one thing that you talked about in the end is about recognizing the pattern, right? Like you were able to recognize which technique to use here. So this is something that a lot of people have an issue in. They get a new problem. Solving older problems are fine because they've done it. But whenever a new problem comes, a lot of people are not able to figure out which approach do we use? Do we use two pointers? Do we use sorting? Do we use binary search? So how did you get that recognition ability? Like how did you get better at recognizing the patterns?
Yeah. So like that is something like it is not very intuitive. So the more you practice, the more it is. Yeah, like that is something which will be which you will be able to do only with a lot of practice. Like let's say that you have solved a lot of problems on each of the separate topics. So and then you means practice. So that is, yeah, with practice only those kind of things will come in intuitively. And other than that, like if you start doing like challenges, like let's say that you means you sometimes we might not get time to participate in the real competition because the competition takes place like let's say for 1 or 2 hours in a week only. So you can also do virtual participation in the contest, and then you can try to solve the problem. And let's say that you are not able to solve the problem in the during your time limit. Then after the problem, like means go and read the editorials, go and see the solution of other people. Sometimes the same problem can be solved in multiple ways as well. So yeah, like those two things are extremely important in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Correct, correct. More than solving the problem, upsolving is more important because while upsolving, you learn from the problem, right? And like you said, you have to look at other ways of solving it. If you solved a problem one way, there might have been more optimized way, more cleaner way of other people having solved the problem. And of course, giving contests is very important. Everyone will tell you the same thing. A lot of people don't give contests, but you have to give contests. If you don't want to give contests in the morning because it happens in early morning, you can always give virtual contests, like Devesh said. So that is a great tip that all of you guys should 100% be using. All right, so we talked a bit about DSA. Let's talk about the other aspects because we have Google that only asks DSA. But of course, you also appeared for a variety of other interviews, and there are many companies that ask things apart from DSA. And even for getting resume shortlisted, you need development. Apart from that, you need design, LLD for a lot of companies nowadays. So how did you balance those things out with DSA? Like, doing development, doing design. How did you manage everything together?
Yeah. So like means for DSA, like it was mostly my college days only when I had studied DSA. So after my graduation, like I worked in a couple of companies. So it was that time only when I moved towards design and development part more. So like I have worked in the front end and back end as well. So yeah, I have pretty good knowledge of design. But yeah, for me the best part was when I worked in the startup. So yeah, I think it was for 2 years when I worked in the startup, and there like I got to work on backend, on design part, on DevOps part, on the cloud level part. So those kind of things like you can get from experience. And like for college students, like let's say that you are doing some internships, you can study in that, and other than that, you can build personal projects. You can watch. You can do some courses as well. So yeah, those are the few things in which you can get good experience, and try to build like small personal projects that will be very helpful.
Mm-hmm. And the best thing is, like you said, working in a startup, and I have heard this from a lot of people. If you get even an internship at startup, of course, you cannot get a full-time job being a second year, third year student, but you can easily crack startups. And when you go into a startup, you'll be working on everything from, DevOps to front end, back end, cloud deployment. And that will get you so much of experience, which just basic personal projects will not match, right? So if you are able to always try to get a work experience, even if it's in the form of an internship at a startup, and apart from that, of course, like he said, you can go into personal projects. So would you suggest any sort of tech stacks or any sort of like sort of tech stacks that people can go into, which can have more scope right now in the industries?
Yeah. So like there are a couple of not couple, like there are different variety of tech stacks, but there are few I think which are more popular than the others. Like if you are into front end, you can go for React or Angular. So yeah, like they are frameworks for front end, and in back end, like you can go for Java, Spring Boot, and the Python frameworks like Django. So yeah, those are the few frameworks which are quite popular nowadays. So yeah, you can look at those.
Yeah, and apart from the frameworks, of course, what matters is the quality of projects. So, of course, make sure that whatever frameworks you're using, you use to build a high quality project, right? And apart from that, of course, coming from a tier 3 college, you appeared for a lot of interviews, you appeared for a lot of companies, you worked in a lot of companies, right? So, how did you get the job offers? Because I feel the biggest hassle or the biggest blocker that tier 3 students or tier 2 students are facing nowadays is not being able to get the interview itself, right? People are not able to do anything because they're not getting a call back. So how did you manage to get, in calls for interviews or basically, get these opportunities?
Yeah. So I think in this regard, like LinkedIn really helped me. So I tried to build more and more connections on LinkedIn. Like I send connection requests to recruiters of various companies, and then I tried to find the people working in those companies, tried to get referrals from them on LinkedIn. So yeah, like the LinkedIn network really helped me. Other so yeah, like if you have a lot of means connections on LinkedIn, sometimes random recruiters might also text you that there we have a job opening in our company. So yeah, that was the most important part of that. And other than that, like there are various other websites also where you can apply. Like I think Insta Hire and Naukri are a couple of other pages as well from where you can get opportunities.
Mm-hmm. So, any specific strategies did you use on LinkedIn that helped you in, either getting messages from recruiters or help you in getting referrals? Because a lot of people are not able to, get that. A lot of people try, but either they don't get referrals, they don't get a reply back from people. So, how did you manage to, do all that on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so like it means there is no like no as such specific strategy I would say, but yeah, like if you have to mail or text a lot of people, like because if you text like only 10 or 15 people and you ask expect to get a reply, it is difficult. But if you let's say that you message about 50 or 100 people, then at least two or three will definitely respond you back, if not others. So yeah, like the you have to means create a lot of chances for yourself to get a reply, and only then you some of the people will get replies. So yeah, try to do things in abundance, try to reach out to more and more number of people, only then yeah, then you will get some opportunities because the competition is really tough nowadays. So yeah. Well,
Yeah, no, that is very true. The job market is pretty difficult to get into right now. And that's why it matters how your LinkedIn profile is. If you have a lot of connections, if you're active on LinkedIn, you have a good LinkedIn profile, the higher your chances of getting a referral or getting a recruiter to message you are going to be. If you have less followers, if you have an inactive or not updated LinkedIn profile, of course, that will be a difficult thing to do. So, yeah, definitely LinkedIn is a great way you can use, to start getting the opportunities being in off campus setting. All right, so we've discussed pretty much about everything. So, on a final note, on a closing note, any advice you'd like to give for all of the job seekers out there, the final year students or the fresh grads who are all looking for jobs right now and who want to crack, a company like Google? What advice would you like to give them?
Yeah. So the general advice would be like to keep working hard because there's no alternate for hard work. You must like keep improving your skills every day because because you are if you're not working hard, your competitor is definitely working hard. So you also have to keep up with that pace. You must keep working hard and you must be ready to grab every opportunity. Like you must be prepared in such a way that let's say tomorrow you get a call for an interview, that next week you have to give an interview. So you must be prepared at that level that yeah, whenever I get a call, I must be ready for giving it. And yeah, and whenever you get any opportunity, make sure to get the most out of it because it is very difficult to get interview calls. So yeah, when if you get any, just make sure to get most out of it and keep working hard. Yeah, the process may take time. Sometimes it may take months. Sometimes it may take more. But yeah, don't give up. Keep working hard, and eventually things will fall in the right place if you have done your hard.
Mm-hmm. That is pretty much the best advice anyone can get, right? Consistency is the key. Of course, you may not get something right away. It may take 1 month, 2 month, couple of months. But eventually, if you keep on trying 110%, eventually you'll get to the place that you want to. Everyone has a different journey. It might take you different duration of time from others, but eventually you'll lead there. Like you said, if you keep on working hard and if you keep on being consistent. And the other thing, again, I want to reiterate what you said is that you have to be prepared. Like opportunities are so difficult to get. Whenever you're getting an opportunity, you have to be fully prepared that you're able to crack it end to end, right? You should not be wasting any opportunity right now. It is becoming more and more difficult to get opportunities. So first and foremost, you have to be perfectly ready. So yeah, that's some pretty great advice right there from Devesh. All right, so that's some pretty great advice right there. And apart from that, if anyone wants to connect with Devesh for getting any sort of one-to-one help, if you want to get your resume reviewed, if you want to get a mock interview, or any other sort of help in your placement journey, then you can connect with Devesh. I'll give a link to his top mate in the description box as well. And along with his, I'll give his LinkedIn as well. So you can connect with him on there as well. So thanks a lot, Devesh, for coming on my channel and sharing all of these things along with your wonderful journey. I really hope this will help a lot of students. So yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you. Oh, yeah, the recording from my side is fine. It's about 20 minutes. Yeah, yeah, I guess it was fine. Okay. This one, I think I can eat it. Yeah. This recording